Hello and welcome to installment number 5 of The Quick Fix. This is your bite-sized podcast from Create If Writing. Info, news, and actionable resources for you, the writer, blogger, or creative who wants to build an online platform without being smarmy.
Sleep, it's almost light. These restless thoughts have kept me up again tonight. One by one the stars are disappearing from the horizon.
Hey, it's Friday and we're at our 5th quick fix. And I'm still getting the hang of the sort of workflow of getting these done. Mostly these days my work times have just been nuts with kids not going to bed. They used to go to bed at 7 and they were like asleep by 7:30, and I don't know what happened, but that lovely dream has gone crashing down. So it tends to be a really late night of recording, but I'm excited to bring you some good links this week. And I'll give you guys a confession. There's some weeks I'm like so excited about so many links, and then there are other weeks where I'm like, oh, I should go look for something. So this was one of those go look for something weeks, but that doesn't mean I don't have some good links that I found for you guys. So I want to dive right in with a challenge that I would love for you guys to join. I just closed the doors for my course, Own Your List, and I'm so excited about the new students who have joined. But if that was not your thing, or really even if it was, and you're already in the course, there is a great 72-hour, as in 3-day challenge from ConvertKit on growing your list. And I'm really excited. I'm going to go ahead and do it because, hey, I'm never done growing, are you? Like, we're always still growing. So if you want to do that, you can also get a free month of ConvertKit. And I don't think they've done this before. I don't know how much of it is ConvertKit specific, but hey, it's free. I'm signing up. I hope you'll join me. And if you want to join, you can just go to createifwriting.com/CK challenge, and we can do this together. So I'm really excited about that. And if you do actually stay on past that month, that's my affiliate link. So just to be on the up and up about that. So I'm really happy with ConvertKit. I love promoting them. It's not for everybody. There's no one size fits all email or anything else, but I'm a huge fan and would love for you to join me on the challenge. So again, that's createifwriting.com/CK challenge. And hey, I should point out, since I didn't at the beginning of the show, if you want to get all the links and have the archive and get the weekly Friday emails, you can go to createifwriting.com/quick fix. So if you're listening to this and you're not subscribed, obviously you're not going to get today's email, but you can find all of the links in the archive. So when you sign up, you will get an email in your inbox. You have to click to confirm and it will take you to the archive so you can see this week's links and all the links before. I just started actually doing it this way, so it's only the links from this year. So I don't have like the last 2 years of links, but hey, in a year, we'll have lots and lots of links for you. Okay, so this is kind of like a news story and one to kind of keep your eye on. So Pinterest made some big announcements this week, and I've been waiting for these because Pinterest is a powerhouse. And I think a lot of people sort of have in the past or still currently write it off as sort of like a place where moms go to find dinner recipes or fashion people go to find pretty clothes. But really, Pinterest is a huge visual search engine, and it's pretty amazing. My husband is on Pinterest, you guys. He does call it Pininterest, but he's on there and he saves ideas for things he wants to build and create around our house, which is pretty awesome. And I actually made him a secret board of things I want you to build. So, it's not just for a certain kind of person. There's tons of stuff on there. So here are the announcements that it made. They are doing some really amazing and kind of like visual things here with their search engine. So they kind of introduced these 3 tools. One of them's in beta, and this is the one I'm most excited about. I don't really understand how this is going to work because, again, it's beta and I don't have it yet. But within the Pinterest app on your phone, you can point your phone to whatever you see around you, and the camera will pick that up and Pinterest will send you to relevant pins, which I think is pretty insane. So it's actually like seeing what you're seeing and then finding those things for you. And then the other thing that it's doing, which I can't wait till that one rolls out, by the way. This one I already have, and it's kind of like you can see other pins that are inspired by something. So on your mobile device, when you're looking at pins, there'll be a little white circle at the bottom right. And if you click that, it will repopulate what you're seeing on your screen with related pins that you also might like, which I think is pretty cool. So if you are like just looking for like a pizza recipe and you go right to Pinterest and you press like the little circle on one of the recipes you like, it's going to show you more related things, which is pretty cool. And they're also adding in shop the look. So you can actually track down the different things in pins and then go straight to buy them. So this is kind of a huge deal because I'm not sure how much I'm going to use this. Like I think this would translate a lot to like home decor or fashion. They have, in their post about this on the Pinterest blog, they have a fashion, like a person wearing an outfit. And so that's how they're doing it, but it's going to take you right to buying. And I think this is where we need to pay attention, right? I'm not super interested in necessarily the applications of this. But again, for those of you who have been kind of disregarding Pinterest, realize how powerful this is. Realize how much more powerful these tools are going to make Pinterest. And so I think if you are not considering Pinterest in your strategy, you need to be. So I will leave some links in the archive and also in the email that will have kind of some how-tos for Pinterest to get started, because again, these tools are only making it a stronger search engine. And whenever they're adding in things that are going to make money, it's just making it more and more powerful. So get on there. Let's get to it. And I'm interested to see what you guys think about the new tools. I'm kind of excited about at least some of them. I do like the Inspired By pins, and that's the only one I'm really using right now. And so that one works pretty well. But this is just kind of a, hey, heads up, here's what Pinterest is doing. So pay attention, please, because it's a big deal. And then this third link, and I'm kind of going short today. So I have the challenge, I've got Pinterest, and then this is one that caught my attention. I didn't watch the Super Bowl because we don't have actual like local or cable television set up. We just do Netflix and streaming. My husband went to a Super Bowl party for work and I stayed home with the kids and probably worked. I don't know what I did. Maybe I got really obsessed with the O.J. Simpson miniseries that's now on Netflix that was on TV last year. And so I obsessively watched that. But in any case, this article is on Medium and it's from Cards Against Humanity. And they talk about their ad and the article's why our Super Bowl ad failed. And if you guys watched the Super Bowl, you probably saw it. So their ad is 30 seconds of a potato with the word advertisement on it. That's it. So I thought it was really interesting to hear their breakdown because I always like it when people are transparent about failure. And so apparently they're going bankrupt now, which I was like, well, so I think they're filing Chapter 11. At least that's what they say in this post, that they're going out of business and they're filing Chapter 11. So they talk about what went wrong and they wasted a whole lot of time they wanted to think outside the box and then they hired an industry advertising agency and then they had to fire them. So I think right from the start, they kind of, maybe got into their heads a little bit like, hey, we're doing Super Bowl, so we have to be a little bit more established, even though we want to be outside the box, and that didn't work. And then they talk about a lot of things, but I think one of the, biggest things that I was just shocked at is that they didn't, they talk about, not adding music and they were too early, that this is kind of like, they chose a direction that was too early, like not early in time, but early in terms of like what they were doing as a trend was too early. They didn't connect with young people. And they said the potato is a beloved American vegetable with a rich history that is simultaneously hip and timeless. No. I don't buy that at all. But this is the one that I was like, what? They forgot to mention their product. They don't have Cards Against Humanity's name or logo on there at all. And I just can't. I can't even. So that's where I was like, what? But I really appreciated this kind of look. And they shared some tweets about where people are like, no, we didn't really like the potato advertisement. So this was kind of what they had to say at the end of this. most startups fail for one of two reasons. They run out of money or they fail to reach an audience. We spend all our money while simultaneously failing to reach an audience. This is a classic blunder. At Cards Against Humanity, we believe that you can only become a master by trying and failing. In this way, failure is life's greatest teacher. Failure is actually success. At Cards Against Humanity, we fail all the time. We are veterans of failure, and constant failure plus unlimited capital is what led us to greatness. So I don't know what they mean by unlimited capital, because obviously there's limited capital if they're filing. It says if they're going to do another Super Bowl ad if they successfully emerge from Chapter 11. I don't know. I don't know how much of this is kind of like, is this tongue in cheek? Is this for real? I didn't read any news articles, so I was just interested in what they said about their failure. And there's something to that. Like, yes, we need to fail, but also like let's be a little bit better about the scale to which we fail. This is not the place to fail on like the $1 million ad. They said that they ended up coming up with the potato like 2 days before because they fired the people and then they had no money for music. So it's just like a silent potato. I mean, if you're going to fail, the Super Bowl ad is not the place. Or, they also talked about one of the failures. They didn't do enough market research or the right kind. Yes, there you go. That's right. I feel like, I don't know, I want to have failures, but I don't want to have failures that are going to make me have to file bankruptcy. So I think, I was listening, this is kind of like, this was a parenting thing, but this is actually from another podcast. This is the Brilliant Business Moms podcast. And she was interviewing the daughter of Dave Ramsey, and I think her name is Rachel Cruz. And I didn't plan to talk about this. So I don't have her name in front of me. So she was talking about how her dad, if they ever made money mistakes, kind of let them make them at home. And then they talked about them so that when they went out in the real world, like, at home is the place that you should fail with little bits of money so that you don't like graduate college and open a credit card because you have never made a mistake with money and then you make a big one, or you buy like a car and get talked into some kind of deal that you really can't afford, but they sell it to you anyway. So the mistakes, the place to make them is on the small scale. So I really liked the article. I appreciate, the candor of them sharing it. But at the same time, I want to like not make my mistakes on that grand of a scale. So that's kind of leaving you with that. Like, hey, it's okay to make mistakes. We all need to make them, and we are going to make them. But let's not make them to the tune of millions of dollars and filing for bankruptcy. Warp, warp. Okay, so these are my links for the week. And I do have a featured community member, and I'm really excited about this one, you guys. So this is Scott, and Scott is from northcountryfarmer.com. And Scott actually sent me an email this past week. And so I wanted to feature him because I was just kind of excited by this email that I got from him. And so I'm going to read you a tiny, tiny bit of it. So he responded to one of my copy emails and just said it was great copy, which I always love hearing because I've really been working on that this year. So he wrote, so this is Scott Terry from northcountryfarmer.com. He said, by the way, I listen to every podcast. I'm an organic dairy farmer and blogger who listens while feeding, milking cows, and bouncing around in a tractor. Trying to build up an online business, launched my first ebook about 2 weeks ago, and I'm loving the passive income. So this was really cool to me because, you create something, you create a blog, you create a podcast, you create an email list, you create this online presence, and you have this ideal reader. I did a whole series on that in mind. But I really think it's important for us to connect with the actual readers and to realize that while it is a good idea to consider the target, you have to also realize that you're going to attract you may not, in my case, I've attracted a really unique, diverse group of people. And I think what bonds these people together is maybe more the style. And so you're listening, Scott, you could tell me if that's correct or not, but sort of the style in which I talk about these things and not so much the niche. So I don't have one niche. I don't just have bloggers. I don't just have writers. I don't just have bloggers or writers. I have some people who are listening who are doing totally different things. They're doing physical products. And, I think what it is more of a stylistic thing and a value thing. So that's kind of my guess. So I think sometimes when people talk about niching down, they miss that whole idea that it's not just about the topic, that it could also be about that style and the values and how you relate to those. So that was my little sidebar. Didn't mean to go off on that, but go check out Scott at northcountryfarmer.com. He's got a really neat ebook called Keys to Successful Homesteading that you can buy right there. And I know we have some homesteaders in our audience because I know you guys. So thanks for listening, Scott. And I hope those cows are great. I really love cows. So tell one of them hi for me. I don't know if farmers do that. That might just be the kind of thing that people like me who don't farm say. So you don't have to do that if that's like not a farmer thing. But in case it is, you can give a cow a little pat for me. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening to The Quick Fix. I'll be back on Monday, and I've got an episode coming up with Chris Syme from the Smarty Pants podcast. She is so smart, you guys, and she has some really great things to say about book marketing, which I know is important to a lot of you. So stay tuned for that. If you're listening, please leave a rating or review on iTunes. It's so much easier on your phone, you guys, if you're in the iTunes podcast app. It takes forever on the stinking computer. I don't want to go off about that, but it's a big pain. But I really appreciate those of you guys who have left them since I've started hounding you a little more incessantly about them. But thank you guys so much for listening and doing that. And it really does make a difference, and I appreciate it. Again, if you want to subscribe and get all of the links in the archive, you can go to creativewriting.com/quickfix. And I hope you have a fantastic and inspired and non-smarmy weekend.